My name is Seneca. Welcome to my casual YouTube channel. In this video, I'm trying my hardest not to edit it. So if I make mistakes and you're like, that's the wrong name, or if I actually slip up and mention the wrong pronouns, it's because I want to get this video up as soon as possible. But just know I respect everybody's pronouns. And if I mess up, it's truly a mistake, not out of malicious, but just out of stupidity. Just stupidity. Yeah, let's just get into the video because I know we're dying to talk about it for real. I just want to dive into talking about this show because this was crazy. It was crazy good. Dude, this was an amazing show. Netflix, I feel like, should really take a note as to how well this has done. Not to like make it as like, oh, this is our queer unicorn, let's just make every other season queer because this did well. No, let's like keep making queer shows for the sake of the impact, for the sake of representation, as well as just, no, this is what queer people are owed. Like, they deserve to see reality, like mainstream successful shows that are based in reality. I, for one, feel as though this is going to sound so disgusting, such like, obviously I'm not a straight white woman, but this is going to sound like what a straight white woman would say, kind of like, I just loved to like learn along with them. I just loved to like be in the experience. I just learned so much. I didn't know what a power bottom was, and now I do. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, I'm so sorry. But actually though, I feel it's so important to have perspectives like these, and I'm just so happy that the show exists because I even feel like more connected to the people on this show because I'm like, I feel like to have a good reality TV show, you need to have a high level of drama, but you also need to have realism and an emotional connection to some of the people that you see. Like, you need to have the dramatics, you need to have the villains, you need to have the tumultuous environments, but then you also need to have people that you see as people that are going through a human experience. And I feel like that show just did it so well. Oh my God. Okay. No, seriously, I just need to like dive into the show and just talk about it because, oh my God, this was crazy. I'm a little bit sad that it's ended. Honestly, I am. I think I'm also sad because we just haven't seen TV like this for real that has been so good. That has sparked so much conversation. I'm on Reddit like every day getting people's opinions about this show because I just want to know what everybody's saying, which is why I make these videos, because I just want to like share, oh hey, these are my thoughts about this super impactful, crazy, great, monumental show. Anyway, okay, let's get to the first episode, which is, I believe, is it episode 9, and then the reunion is episode 10. Okay. Oh my God, dude. Okay. The proposal episodes are a little bit weird and almost borderline cringy because they're set in a way that's supposed to really set the tone, set the mood, be really monumental, really impactful, get you in your feelings. And for a lot of these couples, obviously we know like didn't work out, it just makes you feel like weird because you're like, this does not match their vibe. Like, the proposals were weird. They felt off, you know? They just felt a little bit too like, you know, like, I'm not rooting for this couple. Why the heck are they on a beach, like in this beautiful setting? Like, they have a toxic, horrible relationship. Like, these are two people that are not meant to be together. All of a sudden, I'm like hoping that she says yes. Like, I don't even want them to be together. What the hell? So, like, okay, so I'll just go by, I'm not going to go in chronological order because I didn't write anything down. I just kind of want this to be off dome. But like, so we have Lexi and Rey. Oh, I found that to be really weird because honestly, I feel as though the internet is a little bit split on Lexi. Some people are like, oh, Lexi's a boss. Lexi's a queen. She really knows what she wants. She's so young. She's impressive. But a lot of people are realizing that Lexi kind of is a villain because she is controlling. Lexi has father energy, not even like daddy, father. Like, truly, Lexi makes me feel like when my father said something to me about my behavior and I'm just there like Rey, just like, I don't even know who I am. Like, you want me to be so many things I don't even know. Like, you know. So Lexi and Rey, of course, like, it was also weird because I was watching it being like, oh my God, like, you're gonna propose. not but like 48 hours earlier, I was like, they shouldn't even be together. Like, Lexi is very controlling. Rey is a great person who needs to just kind of come out of her shell and do her own thing. She didn't even want to get married. Like, she needs to separate herself. She needs to run. But truly, whenever I saw their proposal, I was like, oh my God, look at them. That's so cute. I'm like, wow, they're really... Lexi gets to plan the wedding, and now they get to, like, start their life. Dumb. Like, what, dude? What? Also, LOL, spoilers are obviously going to be included for this. LOL at the fact that they ended off this season reunion with just saying, Lexi and Rey are no longer together. The wedding is called off. Like, I mean, like, are we surprised? Actually, honestly, I was a little bit surprised because I feel like when you look at the reunion, you know that a little bit of time has passed, so you kind of feel like the people who are in the reunion are going to go strong. And then you see the people have split up. It kind of makes me curious as to what the heck happened, you know? I saw in a YouTube video by, like, some sort of, like, magazine or network or something, that Rey said that they had lifestyle differences, which is interesting and very apparent during the show that they were just different people. Yeah, I don't know, it was weird. It was just weird. But it was weird that, like, during the proposal, you're like, oh my God. At least I was like, I was about to cry, dude. I was so happy for them. And it was weird because I felt like for the first time during the proposal and the reunion, you see Rey for the first time just be so happy and so proud of her position and just be really honest about the fact that she had held on some resentment towards Lexi, and about, you just felt like she had this air of confidence that she just didn't have, like, the whole season. It was kind of miraculous to see. It was kind of inspiring, for real. I don't know. And it was odd seeing them at the reunion. Oh, can we talk about Lexi, though? Lexi kind of ate. As much as I think that she's a little bit controlling, has some flaws. We all have fatal flaws, okay? Lexi just happens to be very pronounced and very out there because she's very much a dominant person who's, like, very, like, dominant. I don't know what else to say. But her fit ate at the reunion, dude. She ate. She ate, okay? That yellow dress, oh my God. I don't even think yellow looks that great on very pale people, but it looked phenomenal on her. And I'm not saying pale like derogatory. I think that pale women, I was gonna say pale men. Pale women are so beautiful, dude. I don't even like, I typically don't like yellow on anybody other than, like, people that got some hefty melanin, but, like, she really just ate in that, for real. And I was like, oh my God. Lexi and Rey, to me, are just kind of like, like, they kind of irritate me seeing them, you know, not because of them as a couple, but just kind of like, your whole thing is that Lexi's super dominant and super, like, strong personality, and Rey's just kind of like, like, I'm the same in any dynamic where somebody has a strong personality. I'm just like, yeah, no, whatever you say, like, totally. Like, but that's all I have to say about them, for real, unless we get more into the reunion. Let's go back to the proposals. I'm going to be kind of talking about the proposals and the reunion kind of mixed on and off in this video. So if you're like, what the heck is going on? That's what's going on. So the next proposal, I mean, I'm not going in chronological order, but the Mal, Yoli, Xander. I was going to say threesome. Love triangle. That was something. That was truly something, because you're like, oh my God, like, is Yoli gonna say yes? And she did, but then she is out here acting like she didn't just say yes to Mal, and she's out here acting like she's just, like, in the middle of a decision when she straight up made a decision. She straight up made a decision, and then yet still went to Xander and was like, I don't know, I just love you. Oh my God, I just love you. Like, oh my God, I just love you. I wish I don't wish I could reenact what they were doing, but she was, like, way too affectionate with with her. Like, what the hell? It's so uncomfortable to see, because it's like, oh my god, Yoli, you just said yes. But then when she was like, I feel like if I say yes to you, I'm choosing myself. And then you're like, well, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And when Mal in the reunion said, like, you made me look like a fool, I kind of disagree with that. I feel like Mal, like, came out of this, like Mal said. I mean, I agree and don't agree with some of the things that Mal said, but, like, Mal said that she looked like a fool because Yoli was kind of, like, not playing the field, not the field. Lexi kind of was just playing with both of them, being like, I know I love you, but I also love you. Get around me, Xander. But what am I doing? What was I gonna say? So yeah, so it's just weird, because it's like, why would Yoli say yes with such intense feelings towards Xander? And I understand that she's so confused, and I understand that there's well, I actually don't understand. You know what? I don't understand. I will never feel this way. Hopefully, God willing, I will never feel this way towards two people where I'm so conflicted that I'm like acting brand new in front of the person that I have conflicting feelings towards, like taking off my ring, being like, I didn't make a decision yet. Let's kiss. I hope I will never be in that position. But it just, dude. I don't know. Honestly, for like a couple, for when I saw the Yoli and Mal proposal, I was kind of rooting for her to say no, simply to put Mal out of her. I think the whole entire last video I said Mal. Is it Mal or is it Mal? I don't know. I'm just gonna say Mal because I think I said Mal the last one. I was like, what the hell? Why am I? Anyway, it's just really like, it's so uncomfortable because I personally am always probably going to be team Mal, but in order to be team Mal, I wanted Yoli to be on board with Mal for Yoli's happiness. So I did understand kind of why she said, like, if I was going to choose me, I would choose you, like, to Xander. But she said that she would choose Mal, I think because she was like, Mal is such a great girl. Like, Mal is amazing. Mal is like it. She does not deserve this, but I'm just so torn that it sucks, but I'm kind of cheating as we're together. I don't know. It's a little bit painful because Mal is just such a great person. I just am team Mal all the time, okay? Sorry. I feel like we kind of came out of the proposal viewing Yoli kind of a little bit more villainous than in the proposal and the reunion. A little bit more villainous than we thought, because honestly, I feel as though Yoli was one of the only people that, like, this show was truly really about. She really did set an ultimatum for Mal, struggled with it, struggled in the way that she fell in love with a person who she did a trial marriage with, had those real feelings, and then came out kind of being like, what the heck? Like, what am I gonna do? And then still held on to that and, like, really leaned in the process. I don't think anybody else really did that like that. I feel like this season is, in contrast, is different because we see individuals kind of figuring out themselves as people versus, like, figuring out couples as, like, their couple ship. You know what I mean? Versus the ultimatum, marry or move on. There's a psychologist on YouTube. He's so funny. He's like, and he makes his reaction videos about the themes of psychology. And he mentioned the first season of The Ultimatum. He was like, so in the heterosexual version. But yeah, so in the heterosexual version, I'm like saying it as me. I'm not like imitating him. Honestly, I do kind of feel like I wasn't rooting for anybody's individual growth, but now in queer love, I'm kind of rooting more so for individuals, which is why I had the whole, in my last video, I said who should stay together versus who should break up. And I pretty much predicted the whole proposal episode, because pretty much everybody on that list broke up or stayed together, except for Tiff and Mildred, which is something I also really want to get into heavy. Please, oh my god, I want to get into it heavy. Anyways, yeah, Yoli makes me uncomfortable because I understand where she's coming from, but I just am team Mal all the way, because she's fine. But other than that, she's emotionally intelligent as well. She's like, man. She's the type of person that I don't even know if I would want to be friends with her, because I would just be like, crushing. I was gonna be like, you're cute. No, but that to me feels like very like, ew, like kind of one of those things where like straight women play into the attention of queer people because they just straight up like attention. I thought I was gonna like, sorry if it felt like that. Like that's kind of like what it be disgusting. Ew. Like no, but my love for Mal just comes from a place of like, I have so much admiration for you and you are very attractive. So I don't feel like we could be friends for real. That's why I kind of struggle to see why Mal and Lexi haven't got together at this point, because now we know that they're the people that they originally came with have broken up. And I understand they may just have like bestie vibes because they may both be kind of more alpha, but at the same time, I don't know, that's kind of an attractive pairing, low-key, even though I don't even like Lexi. I don't even like her, and I'm like rooting for her to be my absolute favorite. Like literally my probably favorite person I've seen on Netflix, on my Netflix screen. What's wrong with me for real? But anyways, that's all I have. I should have not dragged on that thought for too long, but I did. What the hell? Who else are we going to? So we did Lexi and Mal. So we did Lexi and Rey, Mal, Xander. Not Mal and Xander. Mal and Yoli. And now we're doing Xander and Vanessa. Why was I emotional when why was I emotional when Xander and Vanessa were breaking up? I was like, oh my god, they just have so much history. They have so much history. And they're putting all this, they have so much history, they're splitting up. Dumb. Like, I did not need to be like that. I just truly, I think I was affected because I was like, it is kind of beautiful to see people go through transformations together and for them to like speak on it. And throughout this whole entire season, I feel like Xander hasn't said one bad real thing that Vanessa needs to work on, or Vanessa could do better, or Vanessa could blah blah blah. Like he hasn't brought up any of their conflict. Xander hasn't brought up any of their conflicts with Vanessa in a way that would make you feel like, oh yeah, Xander really hates Vanessa, so they gotta break up. It just kind of felt like Xander is just a really kind, graceful human who just is like, so what, me and Vanessa have problems. Keep her name out of your mouth though. Like, I don't care. You got problems with her, deal with them. I have my own problems with her and I'm not speaking on it. So I feel like it almost made it a little bit harder to watch because I just felt like you could see that Xander had this intense love for Vanessa. You know what I mean? It was weird. Like, I was impacted. Even though I don't even like Vanessa. It's crazy because I feel like most people don't like Vanessa, but I almost feel like it's one of those things where I don't like Vanessa because I feel like a lot of people don't like the type of girl that she is, because you could see her in high school being the pick-me, being the kind of obnoxious person that she seems to be. But I feel bad for her because it's just like, that's just her personality, you know? Like, people are coming at her heavy with hatred in their heart just because she has the type of personality that rubs people the wrong way in some real cases. I want to say like in the Instagram world, and I imagine that she'll do really well in like a very like a Los Angeles type place, because I imagine that that's her like tribe, that's her like people. But for the Ultimatum, they just wasn't, because these people were like a little bit too real, you know? Like, I feel like her level of interacting with people is just on a very shallow level. But I feel bad because I feel like people were coming at her like she was a malicious, horrible person. And she really wasn't. She just has a personality that not a lot of people like, you know? It was weird because I was like, oh my god. But then I was like, oh well, whatever. And then we see that they meet up, Yoli and Xander meet up, and they're just having this stupid little love fest that drags on, that I am very empathetic to, but I'm just kind of like, this is making me not like them, because it's like Mal is over there just like kind of suffering, and you're just over here like, Xander. Oh, dude. So, yeah, that was my thoughts on that. Ozzy and Sam's proposal was so funny. It was so funny because it was like, I almost felt like Ozzy, I mean, we all felt like Ozzy was serious, and that Ozzy was just gonna let that moment just sit and be like, I got you a rock. I don't know how to, I honestly, like, I kind of go back and forth because I feel like a lot of people have a lot of feelings towards Ozzy, and we really empathize with them now because we see their backstory, and we see their, I was gonna say their history and their backstory and their past. What are synonyms then? So, but after that, I just kind of feel like, I mean, great, but like, let's move on, you know? So let's move on to something a little bit spicier. I feel really bad for saying that. But I did predict, I said in the last video, I think that Sam and Ozzy should stay together, because honestly, if Sam's happy and if Sam can be there for Ozzy, and if Sam is down to be the emotional support, to be the foundation of their relationship, good for Sam and good for Ozzy. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh my god, Sam deserves better. Sam is the GOAT of this season also. Can we just talk about, I don't know if it's called quiet confidence, but she just is such, this is gonna sound rude, but it's really meant out of, what's the word? It's not admiration, but it's really meant out of an endearing place, endearment. She has such grandma loving energy, you know, like, she just has so much empathy overflowing, and so much kindness, and so much patience. When I think of my grandmas, and when I think of the energy needed to love multiple people and to just be unconditionally loving, that's what Sam gives to me. That's what Sam gives, you know? And I just really love that. But yeah, so either way, let's go on to something spicy. Tiff and Mildred. Oh! Yo. Okay, their proposal kind of made me sick, because I was like, ew, like, Netflix is kind of like making this a very beautiful environment, and they're also making this to be, not they're making this, but the environment felt like, ew, like, we're supposed to be here rooting for them and their proposal, but it's just off. And it almost felt like when, you know how Tiff was saying, like, Mildred, you're the blah 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 blah, and then Mildred was like, is that it? I wanted to be like, oh, they're gonna fight. But after that, Mildred was like, you know what? We're not perfect. We may get mad at each other. We may break up 52 times in a year. We may do a bunch of things that are not ethical. We may be a horrible partnership. We may not be perfect, but you know what? We are who we are. Like, that's what it felt. It was like very much, who cares if we're toxic and horrible and abusive and our therapist has given up on us and multiple times? Like, who cares if we're not cut out to be healthy? We are who we are. It just blows my mind that somebody would say that at the proposal, because it's just so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, my god. Oh my god, it was so embarrassing. Wow. Because it was just made to look like it was this beautiful fairy tale proposal. Oh, they went through everything, but they're ending up great. It felt like that was kind of the bow being wrapped up. And then we get to the reunion, which I am going to just slide into. So, reunion starts. I'm not gonna recount like how it went, you know, event by event, because I frankly just don't remember. And I would like to just talk about the standouts, not the summary of everything. basically, I forget who exactly speaks first, and I was gonna do that as like a reference point of like how to like bring this up. But let's just kind of start off with Ozzy and Sam, just because there wasn't really a lot going on except for the Sam and Tiff thing, which we'll talk about in like a second, because I don't want to get to that hot button issue quickly. But Sam and Ozzy together, thriving, the only couple that has lasted. Who would have thought? Truly, who would have thought? What the heck? Odd. Surprised that Miss Joanna Garcia Swisher, yeah, that's her name. I was getting it wrong the whole entire last video, but I was surprised that she didn't bring up anything like, hey, Netflix, sorry you got a straight host. My agent signed me up, and this just is what it is. Because that wasn't really a lot of the talk about the Ultimatum, was just, why is there a straight host on this queer show? Like, anyway. So straight host just like, hey guys, I got to the Ultimatum. Did everybody stay together? Did we break up? Did we hate each other? What's up? Which is always so uncomfortable to hear. Sam and Ozzy not really doing anything, whatever, chilling, fine. I was gonna say Vanessa and Xander. We can get to them. Vanessa and Xander, it's kind of weird because I felt like there was more to be said about their little situation. Like, why did Xander say she's my best friend? And then shortly after say like, we haven't spoken for months. But I understand you do need some space when you're in a breakup. I truly do. But, I mean, why are you guys so, like, distant? You know? I felt like there was more that had happened that Xander's just not going to speak on, because Xander don't be saying anything for real. Xander just be smiling and like he really just be, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, I just felt like there needed to be more tea. Xander doesn't give the tea, and Xander be needed to give the tea. Which I also feel like maybe why Yoli and Xandy didn't work out is because Xander did say Yoli needed to get hers together. So I waited till she got her together, and then it just didn't pan out. We're just going separate ways, you know? Because it's like, okay, we just spent the whole season kind of waiting for y'all to like be together, and you are not with your original partner, so what's going on here? But apparently, I guess they just weren't aligned, but they saw each other at Coachella once. What? Isn't that also kind of crazy that you could just be in Coachella, like you as a person could just be in Coachella and just see the people that are going to be on your TV screens in like a few months and be like, oh my god, she bought me a beer. That's crazy, you know? Like, what? So, I just am so confused as to why Yoli and Xander haven't got together. Like, let's get it going. But also, I'm not really rooting for them, honestly, since seeing Yoli's behavior. So, let's get into the tea of Mal and Yoli kind of accusing each other. Mal just respectfully dragged Yoli. Just very, like, the most respectful, most graceful, most kind, but also earnest way of just kind of saying, like, hey, you, seriously. Like, I loved you so much, and you made me look stupid as hell. You are. But I still got love for you, seriously. You're like my cousin, who I hate very much. Whoa. I felt like we all felt Mal's feelings, because Mal is just such a good communicator and just so clearly leads with love. And ever since she said, I lead with love, or maybe one of her friends said that, I kind of in my spirit was like, I want to lead with love. I do. So, I don't know, I just am always going to be Team Mal. That's really the end of this story, is I'm Team Mal all the time. Yoli kind of made me feel like uncomfortable. Like I kind of do understand that she now is a little bit more of the villain role. Also because she was teaming up with Mildred and being a very supporting figure to Mildred, which is odd. Mildred and Tiff, I said it in the last video, they should have broken up. They're toxic, but this whole time I feel as though the villain started off as Vanessa and very clearly ended off with it being Mildred, because honestly, it was just in the way that Tiff reacted and in the way that Tiff was willing to admit some things that were not, you know, very likable, that were not very easy for her to say. Easy for Tiff to say, easy for them to say. But it was just the way that Mildred just came with this agenda just to throw everything at her and to throw her under the bus. Throw her above the bus, under the bus, in front of the bus. That was insanity. I feel like most of the time, if Tiff had stayed, I feel as though this would have kind of been something that we would have been like, oh, look at this tea, look at this tea. When really it was just, no, Mildred, you have domestic charges against you. That is wild. Tiff had to remove herself and truly did not feel as though she could accurately communicate and speak, when I feel as though we haven't really been giving Tiff the recognition that she needs, that she deserves. And I feel kind of bad because I really did just judge them as a toxic, horrible couple on both ends, when I could have been looking a little bit more critically at Mildred. But also, I kind of feel like, of course, there's the whole, it takes two to tango. But in this instance, it kind of felt like the way that Tiff was crying made me realize, like, oh my God, this is an abusive relationship. And this is not just hee, this is for TV type thing. This is truly a horrible circumstance to be in, and I feel so bad for Tiff. And Tiff, in an interview that I was just watching, it was like posted today, talks about how she was in a relationship with a narcissist. And truly, now that she mentions it, looking back on every other episode, I feel like we have only ever heard Mildred speak about her life as if she is, you know, just a victim of life, which is, I feel like, very on theme for narcissists. I have a narcissist in like a circle of people who I talk to, and they just cannot own up to anything. And you know what? There's a difference between narcissists and people who are full of themselves. A narcissist is somebody who has been abandoned, and in their defense mechanism is truly just to do everything to protect themselves and their ego and their view of self, to like inflate it to where like they can't take accountability for anything, because that's just the way that they protect, you know, like their heart and their minds. Mildred, I feel like, is a prime example, because this whole time I wasn't even thinking like, oh, Mildred's a little bit narcissistic. I was thinking like, oh my God, Mildred is somebody who's had a lot of stuff happen to her, and that's what they do, you know. Justice for Tiff, like, for real. So sad, so disappointing. I really do wish them the best. I see that they have a podcast, which I don't think I'll be watching, just because also, even though I do now kind of have this awakening for Tiff, I also didn't really love them that much this whole season. I feel like she's kind of like the sassiest-ish type. She's kind of the sarcastic type. That, I don't know, I just feel like I don't really love their personality that much, but I do recognize that she is owed some more respect, and I feel bad for the situation because it's just horrible. And yeah, that's essentially all of my feelings on the Ultimatum, Queer Love. I'm, like I said in the beginning, I'm sad that this season is over. It felt like it's felt like this thing has just made up a little bit of a community. And even just to get a little bit more real, growing up, I was told that it's not normal to support people who are queer. It's not normal to have like admiration or like to be just like to support a certain lifestyle, which is like just a different way of spewing hate and like playing God, to be like, oh, like, we don't, you shouldn't interact with people like that, like it's not natural, like we should stop normalizing it. because it like people play God and just love to hold that power. Like people do anything to hold power over other people. And just the fact that we condemn sexuality is wild. It's bonkers, and it makes me so upset and angry that there are still systems of oppression that are condemning people for their life. Like, I know I'm just sounding like a broken, stupid ally record to be like, it's just so sad that we treat each other differently. Also as a black woman, like, clearly I know what that's like, but like, it's just upsetting that we can't even get like reality TV like on this caliber, like mainstream, as often as we've got like the typical like messy straight like weird TV, you know? Anyway, whatever. Yuck. I don't even know if what I said made any sense or if it was just kind of like a boo-hoo, we don't have any representation. But like seriously, boo-hoo, it's like disgusting and it's annoying. And that's, hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night.